Yeah. Got the flight book, it's a library. I'm in that deal. Just took a flight to Bora Bora in foreign cars like foreigners. Burberry on her. Up in France, bitch, bonjour. I been come to go so we going Paris tomorrow. Only Paris we carry, spin at the mall. We doing singing along. My diamonds be saying, add some more change. That's the same alone. Dripping all the way from home and taking the wrong. Got the flight book, it's a library. We ain't flying solo. Tune in to the show. It's the Passport Bros. No excuse entertainment. Jay Slay on the show. Turn it up some more. It's the Passport Bros.
Yo, what's good, Passport Bros? How y'all doing? Hope all is well this evening. So today I got someone reached out to me, told me about some interesting dating apps / platforms that he's been working on. And I thought it was kind of interesting. And I invited him to kind of talk more about his product. Especially if I want to kind of encourage the audience to look into. So Garfield said, "Now this the topic I've been waiting for."
Garfield's hyped up.
Okay. Somebody in one of the Facebook groups. I can't see your name. So we need to advertise in the group better so more people watch the live. Yeah, some for some reason, Facebook has been picking and choosing what it wants to put on people's timeline. So I have an issue with Facebook right now, but I'm gonna try to do a better job, with the platform. But you're right. So before I bring up the site, let people know who you are. What do you? First of all, what do you want me to? What do you go by?
Okay, so the name you see there, it's like a super abbreviation. I didn't have enough characters to throw it in, but here's the full name. So I made this myself. So it's the greatest genius of all time, greatest teacher of all time, greatest writer of all time, greatest winner of all time, motherfucking God President Colton Robtoy. But I could only really fit the first 6 and then the Colton Robtoy at the back end.
Okay. Cool. So tell us about I guess who you are. Are you an international traveler? Have you traveled before? Tell us kind of like your international travel background.
Yes, I would say I got started. So I got a full ride to university. And so when I got to university, August freshman year, I said, hey, I don't have any student loans. So any money I earn for these 4 years, if I want to have a job, I will, I get to keep that money. So I decided for 4 years, hey, I'm going to plan a 1-year round the world trip for when I graduate. And basically, it was just some cool project to do to like force me to research stuff and force me to basically create businesses that would try to get me enough money to go on this trip. So the first 11 businesses failed, and I actually had to go to Craigslist jobs to get most of the money. But then second half of senior year, I had a business reselling hot electronics like Snapchat spectacles. This was winter 2016 to spring 2017. And that business actually worked, and I got enough money to go on my trip. So this was June 2017, and I did my 3 months out of 12. Almost got killed in South Africa, Johannesburg. And then I came back to do crypto in New York City. So that was August 2017. So I did 3 countries, and then I've traveled to a few different countries here and there. What I've been planning to do is setting up my location-independent business and doing a lot of writing stuff. But basically, so I can live outside the U.S., earn income. And I thought I had last December was, I was testing my SMV here in different cities around where I am.
So For those that don't know, SMV, sexual market value, correct?
Yeah. So I was testing my SMV in the local sexual marketplaces around me. And I said, I wonder what my SMV would be in different cities around the world. So last December, I said, hey, I'm going to choose 6 cities, Central and South America. And I'm going to, I'll just go live there, each city 2 months. So that'll be a full year. And, I'll do cold approach and things like that and compare it to, my success here. But then I got started using the dating apps. This was just this year. I ran a ton of experiments with them. So May of this year, or it was April of this year, I said, oh my God, these things have a travel or a passport, or, the travel mode or passport mode. So let me just get a list of 30 cities and, I'm going to move my account there to each city for 24 hours. I'll count the number of likes, and then I'll move it to the next city for 24 hours. I'll count the number of likes, and I'll move to the next city for 24 hours. And I said, okay, after 30 days, I'll have some, bar graph of where women want me the most. And so when I decide to go to a city to live in the future or travel to in the future, I said, okay, if I want the most women, I'll pick one of the cities that's the top city, on that bar chart, or do some mix of like, maybe I pick a bar that's in the middle of the bar chart, kind of like average of all the likes I got, but it's a city that's really safe. So it's some matrix of women I get plus cost of living plus safety, things like that.
Okay. So you mentioned South Africa. What are, you don't have to mention all, but what are some other countries that you visited?
Let's see, Mexico, Costa Rica, Colombia, Brazil, Argentina. Yeah, but then South Africa, also Hong Kong and China. And I actually think I might have lucked out in South Africa that I left after I got robbed at knife point by 2 dudes. Because I was planning to do 10 days in Durban, and then I think 10 days in Cape Town.
Okay.
And I was looking, and like Durban is like top 10. I think Johannesburg and Durban are like top 10 most dangerous cities in the world. And I was like, man,
really?
Okay, maybe, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, maybe, that happened in Johannesburg and me exiting, saved me from going to Durban and like something way worse happening.
Yeah, I enjoyed Durban. I mean, Johannesburg. I mean, I know people personally that got robbed. So yeah, Johannesburg, you definitely got to be careful.
Yeah. For me, I'm the only white dude, so I'm sticking out like a sore thumb there.
So how did you come across this channel? Just curious.
So we setting up these 2 services. Basically, it was like, I got to try to find the people that have the problem that I'm solving for. So like, obviously one of these things is, hey, which city do women want me most in the world? Or for a guy that cares, in which city do women want that guy the most in the world? And basically, I'm just doing my own self-marketing, trying to, trying to find the people that have the problem I'm solving for, which would probably be passport bros or dudes looking to meet foreign women overseas, or dudes that realize the laws in the US are really set up to slaughter men. And so people looking elsewhere for women. And so looked on Google, looked on YouTube. How did I find you? I probably just typed in passport bros into Google, and maybe you came up on the Google search.
Okay.
That's how I think I got here. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's get to it, man. So you gave me 2 websites, and I'll bring up the first one. But something that you said kind of I kind of resonated with when you talked about being somewhere where you will probably have the most success or the most interested women. Like I've mentioned before that using Tinder especially in like Colombia, Brazil, Dominican Republic, and then when I went to South Africa, like South Africa, I got the most matches, maybe 200 to 300 matches, where it was much less in those other countries. So you know what I mean? So that made me feel like South Africa is a country where I would have the most options and most success. But let us know what we are looking at.
Okay, so this is one of the services, and the reason for me reaching out and coming on is to see if any viewer wants to do. We're looking for 2 people to do a 30-day beta, where we'll do this service for free for the first 2 people that interview and want to do this. And it's really to get, 1, feedback on our onboarding process to like get you started on our service. 2, feedback throughout the month of us doing all this data collection for you, and then for us to get a video testimonial review at the end to put on our website. So it's basically a freebie, so you get some free stuff, and so I get some free stuff to put on, you know, video testimony on the website, because I think video testimonials are the most important. And so I've actually sold on I've sold product on Amazon the last 6 years. And so my focus really is, you know, how do I provide a 5-star experience to the user? And basically Amazon pounds that into your head, or you get suspended and or killed. And so it's like basically a lot of things I do. It's like, how do we give 5-star experience to the user? And so it's like, yeah, how to give someone a great experience using our service. That's really what I focus on. And so having 1 or 2 or 3 beta users will like get us to test that and actually get the users to say, okay, this is 5 stars, yes, or this is 4 stars because you guys screwed up on this. So it's really good feedback for us, and then video testimonials that we can go, you know, really push marketing hard with. So if people come to the website, it's like, okay, these guys, you know, have a little bit of a track record.
Okay, so eventually it'll be a paid site, but you're offering right now for two people 30-day trial basically in the beta version, which is more the testing version, and they will get something out of it. They'll kind of get to see where their sexual market value is in different cities around the world, and then you know would also seek, you know, some type of testimonial and also data from that. That's
and I'm just calling it a beta, but basically it's our full service, but we're calling it a beta and we just say it's free, but it's our full service, because I'll be mapping out doing all the work since I know the workflow, and then I'll use it to build my system with all the people that will be handling everything. So yeah, it's the full service, but I'm just calling it a beta and calling it free.
Gotcha. So is it pretty much like the first 2 that join, or do they have to join through a special link or any type of code?
Well, they go click on the button, and we'll have a first call interview, and then we'll choose the 2 people. And you know, maybe if there's a lot of interest, we would open it up to more. Like maybe we'd accept more. But I was like, oh, definitely I want to get 2 at least. But it'll depend on, you know, if people want the service or not. Because I know I built this service for me, but then I was like, you know, are there other people that want this? And that's what I'm exploring now, you know, to find out if there's demand for the service even out there.
Gotcha. I can see some demand. You know, there's men that pay for dating services in Colombia, for example. So I could see some demand. So tell me if anything. Should I click this? I want to join free.
Yeah, you can click, and I think I'll bring you to the call sign up page, or you know, the pick a time page.
Okay, cool. So once someone gets to this page, they will do what?
So click on the interview for free 30-day beta global SMB step 1. So that's the 3rd option down.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah. And then I'll bring up a calendar, and then they'll put in their email, choose a time.
Let me just select the date. So they will choose a time and then fill out this information, and then appointment will be booked. And then what happens after that?
Yeah, and then we'll do a 30-minute talk to see what their goals are. Because also, I built this for me, but what I really focus on is building it for the users. So it's like I really want the users to tell me what problems they have, so then I can design a solution for it. Because there might be things that I don't even think of, but the interview, this initial interview will tell me, oh, I should add this to our service, and I didn't even think of it.
Okay, so it's more personalized. So if someone just clicks sign up, will they be able to just sign up, or what?
Now we'd have to do the interview first.
Got to do the interview first. Okay. Will that be moving forward? Like if you got hundreds of people interested, you're going to interview hundreds of people, or?
No, this is only for the beta because, again, I don't know what people want, or I don't know what their problems are exactly without talking to them. So this gives me, again, offering the freebie to test the service. We get to test our workflow, and also we get to learn what users' problems are, so we can develop the solutions for those problems.
Yeah, I mean that's marketing 101. You want to know what the market, you want to know what's marketable and what people you want to offer something people want, not what you think people want. So I definitely understand that. So here I see this graph. Could you kind of briefly talk about what I'm looking at here?
Yeah. So on the left side we got a screenshot of my Bumble profile. And so this was, I think, April. And on the bottom of the graph, you see the 30 cities I tested. Basically, I think I put like 20 cities I could think of that'd be cool for me to live in. And then 10, I think I picked random, just looking at Google Maps. Like, I don't know, seeing the big cities that popped up on Google Maps. And what's interesting is, so some interesting things from this is, one, 7 out of the 30 cities I tested in Brazil, and I thought I would have killed it in Brazil. But actually, Brazil was all 7 cities. Those like my lowest performing cities. So, okay, that's a good data point to have. So I thought I would kill it in Brazil, but I got destroyed in Brazil. And then the second interesting thing was I threw on Lima as an afterthought with no expectations. And I got 200 likes in 24 hours in Lima. And I didn't expect that at all. I didn't even know, like, someone could get that many in one day. But I've tested these cities a few different times. And yeah, the results always come out the same, like Lima around 200 a day. And then the cities in Brazil, yeah, really like 0 to 10 per day. So again, this saved me from flying to the city, doing cold approach, testing out my SMB in these cities. And I can just do this and do the move it with the Bumble travel mode, collect the data every 24 hours, and then I get this graph at the end because I just put it all in an Excel spreadsheet.
So how are you pulling data? Are you using Bumble? Or?
Basically I'm running right now. I got 5 Bumble profiles, 6 Tinder profiles, and 5 Badoo profiles, and so I got people running these. I'm actually testing a lot more cities right now. I'm testing 130, and so I'm running multiple profiles for a lot of data collection. And so basically, it's like I want to know in Central and South America, like which cities want me the most. So I'm actually testing the top 130 most populous cities, Central and South America right now. And basically with that data, like I'll have that data for life. So I'll always know where my SMB is highest. And obviously right now with this graph, it's Lima. I don't know if any other place will beat it.
So
in Central and South America.
So if you can share, how are you interacting with the apps? Is it like automated where you're sending messages, or are you manually reaching out? Like, how are you multitasking to get this data, especially if you have several profiles?
Yeah, so I've hired, so I got 2 people running my profiles right now, and yeah, it's a manual process. So we sign into the Bumble or Tinder account or Badoo account, and we go to the page that shows the number of likes, and then we record the number of likes, and then we'll just swipe, half to the right, half to the left to get those likes down to 0, and then we just move it to the next city. And so the reason I got someone else doing it is, 1, to save myself time, and 2, so I can build a system so I got a system right now that I can plug in anyone's profile. Like, we can add a profile easily, and I just slot it into my guys checking my profile, so they'll check my profiles the next day, plus whoever profiles we're running. So I create a seamless system where it's plug in easy, and we spit out this graph. And we're running a beta with one other dude right now, and what we did with him was we gave him the first 3 days of data. We gave it to him every day. So like day 1, we told him, hey, you got this on day 1. And then day 2, we told him, hey, you got this on day 2. And then day 3, we said, hey, you got this day 3. And then he said, okay, after this, give me the data once per week. So last week, we finished week 1. This week, Sunday, we're finishing week 2. So from doing the beta with that first dude, he said, hey, I want to know the first 3 days, like ASAP, but then after that, just send it every Sunday. So that was a good piece of feedback that we're doing with that guy. And yeah, we just plugged him in, and plugged him into our system. And we use a phone number that we own, so that we can get because we have to get the text codes to sign in. Because every time you sign into a dating app, they send an SMS text code, which is hard to get around. But basically, yeah, what we'd like to do is either recreate a profile someone already has, or if they haven't used Bumble or Tinder, then they can just send us their pics, and yeah, we'll make the profile good. And then basically they'll just choose the 30 cities they want, and we'll go and get that. We'll go and get the data for them. It's hands off. So that's what I think is the best, is we're just saving people time.
Okay. So I know it's some control. So I know, especially with Tinder, I've noticed a difference in profile pic makes a difference. So if someone gave you pictures that may not give them the best results, would you kind of reject them and say, hey, can you send me some better pictures, or would you just try to work with what they have?
Yeah, I think most guys won't have good pictures. And so what I would do is I would still take them and try it, because I think when you're outside the US, just if you're a US citizen, you get a boost in your SMV in that market. So like, pictures matter a little bit less outside the US. But I'd probably also say, like, oh, here's the photo dude I went to. Well, not with those pictures on the profile you see on the left, but I got some nice professional ones done. And so probably try to recommend dating app profile photographer near the dude. Because definitely it does make a difference. Those pictures you see on the left, those are just random pictures from like my Facebook profile the last 6 years. So those are definitely not, dating app pro photographer optimized. But I still got amazing results, in the cities I got amazing results. And even with those photos, which I think the photos I've got there are probably like the average dude's photos. And so you can see the results I got with basically average photos.
So what about age? Because some women have filters on the ages that they either search for or are interested in. So would you do true age? Because if I was to sign up, I would probably want 2 profiles. I'd probably want a profile, let's say, with my age and maybe like 5 or 10 years younger, just to see if I would be curious with that. What's your thoughts on age, adjusting age?
Yeah, that'd be fun to test. So I like testing everything, and so my guess as a dude, or my guess is if a man makes himself older, he'll get more matches, just because man's SMV increases as he gets older, and women just see protection, provisioning, and security more in older men than younger men. But again, this would be this service would be the perfect service to test it, where you literally test the two different profiles. And what we do is we probably start, the age 35 one in Mexico City, the first city. And we probably start the age 25 one in like city number 15. So then once the first profile gets to city 15, then the women probably have forgotten about your younger profile because it's been 2 weeks. But yeah, that would be fun to test, and that's good feedback that I didn't think of. Well, actually, I did think of testing it for myself, age difference, but I'm just trying too many profiles right now, so I never actually got around to it.
Another thing I'm thinking about that makes this interesting is that a lot of guys that haven't traveled before, they ask me, or they ask other travelers, like, where should I travel to first? And this will be a good guide, to kind of not waste your time. So I think that's good in that aspect. So correct me if I'm wrong. So this seems like something that it doesn't sound like a subscription, because like if I pay for it and I got my data, I'm pretty much done. Right?
Yeah, one time.
Okay. So I don't know what, or I'll ask, what do you anticipate on pricing for a data profile?
No idea yet, but it's something that we'd probably ask in the beta, see what people's appetite would be.
Let's ask the chat.
Yeah.
Chat, if you've been following, what would you pay to get data on various cities around the world, where you would likely have the most success? How much would you pay one time to get a data profile based on various dating websites? And he mentioned creating maybe more than one dating profile. How much would you pay for that? Type it in the comments. How much would you pay for that? One-time fee is no membership. So I'll see if I get a couple responses. I'll wait, and I'll let you know what I would probably pay for that one-time information. Especially for a first-time traveler, or a traveler that's want to travel somewhere else besides what they typically have been going to. So what's the difference between this first chart versus the second chart?
Yeah, so the first chart was it was likes in 24 hours per city, and this chart is SMV score 1 by city. So I did some math, and basically I did number of women squared divided by, so number of matches squared divided by population of the city. And I was plotting it, and I was seeing, does it matter, does it not matter? And I think the second graph does not matter, because the second graph's really taking like some ratio of number of matches divided by population, kind of give you some like relative SMV number. But I don't think it matters, because you really, like, let's say there's a city with a population of 300 and you get like 3 likes. So that's like you get 1% that matches. That would be 1% of the population matches you. That would be by far the largest like column or largest bar on this chart. But that doesn't, like, it's dumb to go to that city.
Right.
Even though it's the largest bar. So I realized a ratio of matches divided by population is dumb. We should really just focus on this top graph of raw number of matches, because that's just where you're going to get the most dates, not You know, because so Lima, I got 200, and there's like 10 million population there. So what's that like? 0.0005% or something, and that's how big my bar is. So if we were testing some random city and got 3 matches out of 300 population, that'd be 1% bar. So it'd be like 20,000 times bigger than the Lima bar in this one. But that's dumb because you go to that city, you get 3 matches, and then what? So I actually just think just raw number of likes is really the metric that matters, because then multiply that by some non-zero conversion rate to the first date, you're always going to get the most dates where you get the most matches.
Right. So Garfield said if it's a one-time payment, he said no more than $50.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Let's see. Ilflow Spitter, Max Closet TV. Yo, what's good? What's good? Yeah. I would say the time it would take for me to figure this out on my own. I've spent, and this is the thing, guys. Like I spent. So I'm gonna take a step back. The reason why a lot of guys choose to indulge and pay for play because they don't got hours to spend on dating apps. You know what I mean? Like even though I've had a lot of regular girls, it took me hours to like send messages and to stay in contact. Like it's work, and some guys don't have. You got to have a lot of time in your hand to copy and paste 200 and 300 messages to women in different cities and different countries. You know what I mean? So it's So something like this is a time saver, and to say, you know what, if I don't want to basically go somewhere and spend money on prostitutes, I want to meet regular women. Where would I most likely go to get, the more attention? And so I think that is, that's something, worth looking into. So I know you gave me another site to look into. Should I pull that one up?
Oh yeah, Roster Builder. Yeah.
All right, let me share that one. All right, cool. So let me know what I'm looking at here.
Okay, so this is just a one-pager, so it says for expat e-commerce CEOs in Lima, Peru, who have too many dating app matches and not enough time to go through them all. So the words don't really matter. That's just for marketing, because I'm guessing if I'm the white dude that got a bunch of matches in Lima, Peru, maybe there's other dudes in Lima, Peru. So that's just really the target marketing to do some testing. But basically, what this is okay, you're in a city, you got too many matches to deal with. And so what we do is we do your messaging for you. So we have a 3-message script, and we put in our case study, which is two lines above that green button on the bottom. But we got a case study where I did some testing in Lima, and I tested a 3-message script, and I found out that if a woman messages me first on Bumble, then 20% of the time I can get her WhatsApp number with this 3-message script. And here's the professional photos I got. So on the left side, you'll see, I finally went to a professional dating app photographer. And so I got the really nice photos. And so this is me testing just a few weeks ago. And on the top right, I said, I put my profile in Lima, Peru for 24 hours. I got 264 likes. And then the women just got a message first. So I got 121st messages. And I kept track of all this. And then I did my 3-message script, which is at the bottom. We'll get to it. And I got a 20% conversion rate from women messaged me first to got WhatsApp number in 3 messages. And so basically what that means is 80% of the women were cold leads. Like they're kind of just there for attention and validation. But 20% are either warm leads or hot leads. And so that filter to get the WhatsApp number is good to just filter out the cold leads. And so the script I used is literally the first message I just said their name, and then the second message I said, hey, let's get to know each other in person. And then the third message is, do you have WhatsApp? And so at the bottom is really the important thing. So there's 24 WhatsApp numbers I got in only one day are somewhere between a warm lead, wants free attention from me, to a hot lead, wants to fuck me. But it's up to me to, ask her on a first date with her WhatsApp number to figure out which one she is. But 24 potential hot leads in one day is great. And then, it's then on me, the man, to convert that to a first date. And, if I was guessing, I don't know, let's say I get 10%. So I get 2.4 first dates. And I'm not there yet, so I can't test it. I can't test it in person yet. But, that we assume 10% from the WhatsApp number to a first date, 2 first dates per day. I mean, that's 60 first dates with women per month if I'm in Lima for a month. And I'm beta testing. So I'm beta testing this with myself, obviously. And I do have another dude I'm beta testing this with. And it may be a better strategy with what we're doing with this dude right now. So this dude right now, we're actually going to run this script for him on Tinder and Bumble. And we're going to put him in, I think, Quito, Ecuador. And what we're actually going to do is not try to get the WhatsApp number. We're going to try to use this 3-message script and funnel the woman to his Instagram. Because he's got a really good Instagram. And so his hypothesis, and I agree with it, his hypothesis is it's better to send the warm leads of women to a Instagram page. Because as a man, that's basically your sales page. And they can see your social proof. They can see your your social proof, your lifestyle, that you're real, that you're not, loco. They can see your stories during the day as they're following you. They can see your highlights of, cool things you've done in the last year as you put them on your highlight in your Instagram profile. And my hypothesis is that sending to Instagram will actually, I think it'll be way better. And we're actually just going to run a month Bumble and Tinder, do not chat, send it to this guy's Instagram so that, he can just live his life right now. But when he goes to Quito, the women will have become familiar with him from his profile, watching his stories. He's in the US right now, but they would have watched his stories, like, oh, foreign dude. But then once he shows up in Quito and puts stories on his Instagram profile about Quito, be like, oh my God, I've been, watching some of this dude's stories, over the last few months. And he's in Quito. Oh my God, I got to comment on his story and message him. And, that's an outbound, that's an outbound reach out. And then that guy has that'd be above a warm lead. So that's like a semi-hot lead right there that he can ask out on a first date. And my hypothesis is, I was talking to him about it, that I think it is smarter to send to an Instagram page. If your Instagram page is good, because to send it to a WhatsApp, I mean, just women just aren't going to remember you from a WhatsApp or a phone number. They just got too many men, too many numbers. And so I actually think the send to Instagram is better. And so we're going to test it with this dude. And also, I mean, so I got 120 first messages in Lima in one day. And like sending to Instagram, we're going to do better than 24, that conversion to WhatsApp of 24 numbers per day. So basically 20%. We're going to do better than that, getting to them to go to his Instagram just because it's easy for the woman to hit follow, then give her number. So he might be getting 30 to 50 women followers on his Instagram per day if he was testing in Lima. We'll have to see what his data is in Quito. But it's so that'll just bring him more social proof from the jump. And he gets those warm leads that are watching him that can reach out, comment on his story whenever he does go to Quito. So my original thing was with this WhatsApp number, and I use this, and I'm going to do, because you can do WhatsApp stories, you can do a little bit of lifestyle there, but I definitely agree Instagram's the #1 dating app in the universe right now. And so I do agree with him. And that's why we're going to test that. I think sending to Instagram page is better. And he can go to Quito, post a story, and all these women we funneled to his Instagram over the last few months, like he could have 10 women like comment on the story of him in Quito, and then or he could have 20 or 50 or 100. Like I don't know. This is our first time testing it, so
Yeah, that's something. That's something. A lot of us notice that frequent Colombia, especially. I mean, Facebook too. If you put in your status, like arriving in Colombia, you'll get women messaging you or liking a post. So in Instagram too, WhatsApp. WhatsApp. I got in trouble with some girls that I didn't tell them I was going to their country, and they like, you didn't tell me because I put it on my WhatsApp story. So, but yeah, you're right. They pay attention to your posts and stories more. Let me catch up on the chat real quick.
okay.
Shao Khan, he put 20. I guess that's what he will be willing to pay for it. Garfield said, is he using Bumble? Yeah, he did mention Bumble was one of the sources he's using. And then Shao Khan again said, when this app come out, I would pay for this now. So yeah, if you're interested in signing up for the beta version, if you just came in, he shared the website. I will also put the link in the description, but it's also part of the the thumbnail as well. I'm gonna bring this website up again so you can see it. So I'll go through this again. So you'll go to this website, globalsmv.com. He has two seats open for the free 30-day beta version. So you can get this for free if you are selected. So you will go to where it says globalsmv.com beta. You will select interview for free. And then you will pick a date. You'll pick a date on a calendar so you could have a one-on-one consultation. He will go over what you're looking for, what you're expecting to get out of it, whatever questions that he may ask. You'll just pick a time, and then and I'm assuming once they schedule it, you have their contact information. So it'll be like a phone call, or will it be like a Zoom, or what type of meeting would it be?
Yeah, we'll Zoom it up. I paid for the Zoom Pro, so I get more than 40 minutes, so that's good. And yeah, we're doing the same thing for Roster Builder too. 2 seats for the beta. Just the buttons are not as big; they don't pop like this one.
All right. So the main difference, so Global SMV, this is you're basically paying once it's in full mode, you'll be paying a one-time fee for data that will kind of show you your sexual market value in a certain number of cities that you're interested in, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and then the I don't want to get the name wrong. The roster builder is basically you mentioned Instagram, you mentioned let me pull that up again so I can share that. So you're actually going to send messages. You said you sent out three initial messages, and the goal, well, the first goal is to get the WhatsApp number, and then also share an Instagram profile as well. And basically just either, you're basically building your phone book, and you're building your Instagram following as well. And you pretty much handle those things. Let me go here. So so this is the roster builder site. And what we were just looking at, this is a case study which you used yourself, and you said someone else is actually currently in this case study. So if the roster builder that's a separate fee, or is that totally separate, or will they kind of be combined service?
Yeah, totally separate. So they're two different services, two different websites, but I made them both. Well, I made them both for me, and then I'm like, I wonder if other people would want this solution too. And roster builder, basically, again, like if I go to one of those cities where I scored super high on global SMB, like I don't have time to talk to 100 matches per day. I literally don't. So I'd have my staff would be trained on my script, and probably what we do is in the initial interview, I would ask you like, do you want us to funnel to your WhatsApp, or do you want us to funnel to your Instagram? Because like the third message, we can make it interchangeable. The third message in the script right now is, we asked the women, do you have WhatsApp? But we can, what we're doing with the one beta test we have now is we're switching that up to, we're going to say, agrégame en IG, and then put in the Instagram. So that means add me on Instagram. And the beauty of this is we're basically getting rid of the people that are definitely have low interest in you, because they swipe. I mean, we're getting rid of the people that have super low interest in you. So they had enough interest to swipe right, but then, this is Bumble and they didn't message you first. So obviously their interest is super low. And the beauty of this is you don't even need to have the Bumble app on your phone. You don't need to look at the profile. It's basically you go to sleep and you'll wake up with WhatsApp numbers in your phone from women that at least have warm interest in you. So they're somewhere between warm and hot. So it's like, again, at the bottom, I was like, oh, they either want free attention from you or to bang you, and like to find out which one, you invite them on a first date. And so that's phase 2, and actually phase 3, which I'm planning to have for when I live outside the U.S. Phase 3 is, so phase 2 is go to sleep, wake up with WhatsApp numbers in your phone, or like new followers in your IG. Phase 3 is go to sleep and wake up with dates on your Google Calendar that my staff has like gone through all the chatting and set up the dates for you already. But that's phase 3, but that's probably 6 months off.
So let me ask some more challenging questions. So in Africa, especially West Africa, so there's a app, there's a Cupid site called Afro Introductions. In most African countries, there is a lot of fake profiles, and they will blow you up. They'll blow your Tinder up, or Tinder and Afro Introductions, for example. Especially in Africa, there's a lot of fake profiles. So, how could you, I guess, correct because you would get a lot of responses. I mean, I kind of can answer the question, because once you ask for the WhatsApp, sometimes you get a WhatsApp, but then if you want a video chat to confirm their identity, they won't video chat with you. So how would you eliminate bias, especially in like Africa, which I've seen it the most?
Okay, so one is asking for the WhatsApp number. Okay, cool. Well, if they don't send it by the third message, then we do not send them another message, because that means they're low interest.
Let's say you do get a message, but a lot of times they won't video chat with you or audio chat with you. They'll just basically kind of want to text. So
okay, I see what you're saying. And for me, I don't text women at all. The only thing I do is I say, hey, I'm going here on this date. I'm going to this coffee shop tomorrow night. Meet me there at 8 p.m. And basically, I tell them to meet me there. If they deny, I delete their number, or I block them, delete their number. If they agree, and then the day of the date they don't show up, I block them and delete their number. And I always like try to plan multiple dates, or like a 6 p.m., a 7 p.m., and 8 p.m.
So let me interject real quick. So for example, right, if I was, let's say I wanted to look into Africa and I gave you several African countries, right? Now, me being in Africa, I kind of know where, like, West Africa is gonna be is just gonna be so many fake profiles out there. So you use the program, you see my S&V values high in these African countries, and I go there, and then it's not what I expected, because so I guess I'm basically letting you know that there are countries where there's a lot of fake profiles.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. Okay, so you're saying before you go, so we're talking about global S&P. Okay, I thought we were talking about when we're there and we can ask a woman on a date and like she's either going to show up or she's not.
Let me answer this question real quick. He said, "What's the asking price for it after the beta?" Garfield, he said he hasn't he doesn't have a price. So when he does the consultations with the beta versions, he's gonna get data from you guys to kind of figure out what people will pay. So that's why I asked people in the chat what they were willing to pay. I think up to 50 was mentioned. 20 was mentioned, but he doesn't have a price yet. So he's using, which I think is good. He's using feedback on what people will pay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So your question is, okay, my global SMV is inflated because of these fake profiles, and okay, good. That's something I have not thought of before. And right now we have no counter to it, so we would not know if 30% are fake or 80% are fake or 99% are fake. And so if I think right now, what is the way to, I don't know, what is the way to guesstimate the fakeness of, Lagos, Nigeria on Tinder?
The only way to know, if a profile fake is if you could video chat with. I mean, that is. Or you can see how the conversation goes. Sometimes fake profiles, they'll send the same message. The spelling will be off. You could pick up certain things, but on a mass scale, video chat is pretty much at least a way to. You could ask a question and say, when can we video chat? And based on the responses, you could kind of determine if it's low interest or fake. So I probably would consider that. Definitely has to be a question about video chatting. Because that's one thing I thought of. Another thing is safety. So Medellin or Colombia especially it's been a lot of uptick in guys meeting women on Tinder, being drugged with scopamine, and they waking up and other things are gone. A lot of guys felt like, I've been talking to her for a few weeks. I feel comfortable with her. She seemed like a regular girl. She fixed me a drink. Next thing you know, I woke up and I was gone. Some guys have died because, the scopamine amount probably was too much for them to handle. So even in Medellin or Colombia, for example, we actually discourage guys to avoid the Tinder girls, avoid the girls in the red light district, and just try to be more careful and how you select women, especially if they're working girls, and then also protecting your valuables, whether you got a hotel or Airbnb. So there's a lot of things that we try to put out there to make Colombia more safer experience. So I guess what have you considered, or will you consider, it's a safety aspect? Because if you could set up a date on a camera, on a calendar, and you got a date lined up, but then it could be a group of men waiting for you to rob you, especially in some of these known countries. So those are type of things that I would be a little curious about. I probably wouldn't want a date set up. I would probably want to set it up myself, because that's based off of feel and conversation and things like that. And then I would also, if I was meeting a woman for the first time, especially in Colombia, I would definitely want to meet her in like a mall, a commercial mall. I probably wouldn't want to meet anywhere where some motorcycles could pull up outside of a coffee shop. I would probably want to meet inside a mall. And then if we were to go to my spot, I mean, everything else has to be up on a guy. Like I would say you're only responsible to the point of meeting a person, and then you decide if you want to take things to the next level. So that's my only thing. I don't know what your thoughts on that. All right.
Yeah, that's all good to think about. And I think, as I get more feedback from people, basically the feedback will inform us what to think about with the service. So, maybe we should have some, 2-pager, how to be safe dating outside the US, something like that. Like, oh yeah, maybe the mall is a better place to meet up on date 1 than a coffee shop for reasons 1, 2, and 3. That's like talking to users, like you or whoever. They'll tell us things that we haven't thought of or seen yet.
Let's see, Travelmatic said, I found my Dominican girlfriend on Cupid. Yeah. I had some ex-girlfriends I met off Cupid. I mean, my wife, I met her through Instagram, so it does work. Well, what I was gonna say, but yeah, I definitely think the data on the sexual market value is good. You can know what cities and or countries that you will probably have the most success at. I think that's great. As far as the what do you call it again?
Roster builder.
As far as the roster builder, I think there's some things have to consider to be more safe, because even with this recent, I don't know if you're aware of the rapper PNB Rock got killed in Los Angeles because his girlfriend, supposedly his girlfriend, she put the location in her Instagram story, and so people that were wanted to rob him, they followed his girl on Instagram, and she put her location. So even putting your location is guys have to be kind of like mindful. I mean, you could probably say I'm in Medellin or I'm in a certain city, but post of like where you're at, especially if the location, it could be it's an element of danger. I would probably want to minimize as well. So so those are some other things. Oh, Shao Kahn said I would pay $100. Okay, for both services or for each service, because they're different. The roster builder and the sexual market value would be two different things. So so you get more WhatsApp numbers, you get Instagram followers, and then it's kind of up to you. I mean, it's really up to you to kind of vet them out the best you can, and go from there.
Yeah, my thought, again, I made these 2 things for myself. My thought was, man, I don't have time to message 100 women. So for roster builders, like, okay, if I choose a city where I'm hot on global SMV and I go there, I don't have time to talk to 100 women per day. So let me just, make some script to definitely screen out the low interest women.
Right.
That will leave the medium to high interest women. And that script is right now getting the WhatsApp number for me. But it could also, again, I could be using it to maybe funnel these women to my Instagram, which, again, I do think is better. I definitely do think that's better, because women will just forget you in a sea of WhatsApp numbers. And yeah, it's basically for men to go about their day-to-day lives normally, and then they go to sleep, and they wake up either with, 5 to 6 new WhatsApp contacts that are medium to high interest in them, or 10 to 15 new women Instagram followers. And we would do this for Roster Builder. We do it, if they're in the city, if they're in Medellin or Cartagena, whatever, at that time, or we could even set it up a few months before you go, so you can get all these leads, either to your WhatsApp or to your Instagram before you even head down. So it's like, if you post on WhatsApp stories, Instagram stories, throughout the next few months in the US, and then you post it in whatever, Cartagena, and then, the women will recognize that, be like, oh my God, you were in some other country, but now you're in Cartagena, you're in my city. And then they'll probably like comment on your story through WhatsApp or Instagram, and then that starts the conversation. Then you just ask them out for a first date, and you didn't have to do anything. You just, went about your normal day, and we filtered out like the 80 to 90% that were below, medium interest in you.
Okay, cool. If any of you guys got questions, put any questions in the chat. What I mean, I'll probably rock up for a few more minutes. So I guess two more questions for you that I have. One, so your technical. I'm just curious. Your technical background. Did you go to school in like programming or any type of IT?
So it was called nanoscale engineering, and what that means is making the little computer chips that go into your laptop, your phone, your car, basically the brains of your device. And so, yeah, my whole university was at something called lithography, which is how to make those little transistors and make the little chips. That basically there's a mega shortage, I think 2021. That's why the used car prices were up so high.
Right.
Because they could not produce new cars because the new cars need the chips, but there were no chips because like pandemic, just exploded everything. And so no new cars could be made. So that's why used cars went up by like 30 to 50% or whatever in price. And so it's funny, I've never used my degree for anything because I've been running my e-commerce business the last 6 years. But it's like I always could go use it to go make chips because that's how the world runs on right now. Like chips and everything, chips in a computer, chips in your internet, modem, chips in your iPhone, so chips in your car. Yeah, so literally everything's running on my chips. So my background is chip making, and it's basically like I know the foundation that if you say everything to know about making chips is 100%, I know the basic 10%, but I can use that if I go into the industry, which I never plan to, but if I did, I could use that 10% that I know that we learned in the 4 years of university to teach myself the other 90%. And so I think I got super good background, super good foundation. The school is like specifically made for it.
Okay.
And so it's perfect.
Okay. As far as like the data they will get, like the will it be like on an app? Will it be something emailed to them, or how would they receive the results? What form or format?
Yeah, with Global SMB, you'd get that PDF, not the two graphs, because I think the bottom graph, I realized it doesn't matter. We just care about the raw number of likes in a city. So you'd get, we'd screenshot your profile, put it on the left so you know what we tested, or like, your profile that we tested, and then we put the graph, just the top graph, and so you'd be getting a one-page PDF, and the cool thing is you didn't have to do anything. You just told us, hey, here's my 30 cities, or we could pick the cities. We'd probably maybe test you in the same cities I was in or something. And then, you just get the one-pager, and then, that saves you the time of doing it yourself, or the time of like flying to a city, book an Airbnb, and be like, oh, what's my SMB in this city? Time to go do some cold approach. So that eliminates all that. So that allows you to make, saves you some time, and allows you to make smarter decisions of, where to go on vacation, or where to do, be a digital nomad, or where to work remotely. Because if like the more, so if you're deciding on a city, the more heavily weighted that you want a lot of women is, then the more important it is to get this data somehow of how your SMV is before you go to that city.
Okay. And to comment from the chat. Shakan says, since you are white, I would have thought your SMV would be the highest in Asia.
Yeah, and that's perfect. That's perfect hypothesis to test. And what did I think? I knew I'd do good in Central and South America. I did not know Lima. I had no idea I would explode in Lima. Like, I've never even thought of Lima. I just saw it like as a big city on Google Maps. ASML. Yeah, actually, ASML was at my university. We actually had, it's funny. Our university was in New York as a public university, but it was just like 20% school and it was like 80% industry. So I think our university was more like an excuse for industry to get public New York State university funds, and they kind of slapped the school on as like a extra wing to get that money. So our school was like mostly for big business. But yeah, he's right about.
What does ASML stand for? Or is that just the?
I don't remember, but I know it's like a lithography. They make the machines that do the lithography for, like to make the little transistors. And basically, you got like bend light and like make it really thin. And so yeah, at our university we had ASML, Lam Research, Tokyo Electron, basically all the big guys. And I know it's funny. I think the U.S. is like lobbying the Netherlands right now to have ASML not send any chip making machines to China. So it's like the U.S. is really trying to prevent China from getting these chip making things, because chip making is super important right now, and that's why Taiwan is so important, because Taiwan is like 60% of global chip making, or 40%. Like Taiwan is literally half of all the chips in the world.
Oh wow!
And that's why the U.S. and China are insane about Taiwan. Like that's the only reason.
Wow.
And so yeah, so the chip stuff's cool. It's always in demand, and then so testing all these cities is perfect for testing my hypothesis of, where would I do great? Again, I thought I would do great in Brazil, and I tested 6 or 7 cities out of the 30 in Brazil. Got destroyed. Thought I'd do great in Mexico City. I only got like 5 likes in 24 hours there, so I got destroyed in Mexico City. But it's funny, we tested a dude that's like 60 years old, and he got, when I got 5 likes in Mexico City, he got like 150, something like that. So he was like 30x more popular in Mexico City than I was. And I'm like, what? But I guess that's that age difference. He's 60. But what's wild is he's 60 and he's getting like the amount of likes like a 19-year-old woman would get. So maybe Rollo Tomasi's SMV graph, what I was thinking is maybe the male and like, after 50, it slopes down pretty fast. Maybe the male SMV actually stays pretty high into the 50s, 60s, and 70s, way higher than Rollo Tomasi's graph shows. Because this 60-year-old is blowing me out of the water in the Mexico cities, like getting 5 times more likes or 20 times more likes. And I'm like,
they like he's gonna die sooner.
Hey, that could be it, yeah.
I could get some of that retirement, that inheritance.
Yeah, yes, that's part of it. But also that will help him get more first dates than me, since he's getting 5x or 10x or 20x more likes. So I think it was good for me to see, with this beta, to see advanced semiconductor materials lithography. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So yes, I make the lithography machine. But I think it was good for me to see a 60-year-old, like, and so I'm operating the 60-year-old's dating app profile, and I'm going to see, every day. Well, the guys I've hired, they go in and like they collect all the data, do all the swiping. But I'll go into check because I think it's interesting. A 60-year-old dude on dating apps, and this dude's getting like more 18, 19, and 20-year-olds matches than I'm getting.
Wow, they know what they they have an agenda. But hey, they want something, you want something, so it's a good. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, so since I like testing everything, it's interesting for me to see all this data as I operate all these people's profiles. Because I definitely didn't think the 6-year-old would destroy me that bad, but I mean that's the data we're getting, so that's real sexual market value data that you can't argue with. I mean the only way you could argue is say, oh, test their 2 or 3 days to make sure one day was not a fluke. But yeah, when I go back and test on my other profiles, the results are basically within 20%. So basically 1 day testing in a city is pretty unique or pretty accurate.
Okay, I got one more question, man. So first, I was gonna answer my question about how much I would pay. Now, I don't have a problem paying for Tinder, Cupid, and they're typically like $30. So I would say that on the low end, $30 would be fair. Since I'm saving, since it may save me some time, I'll double that and say up to 60. So I would say for me between 30 and 60, I mean that's what I would, pay. But I would definitely pay at least $30 at the minimum.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Because most of the other sites charge the same amount, so I wouldn't go. I wouldn't want to go over what the bigger ones, charge. And so my last question is, and so this is important for me, and maybe other guys too. So when I'm on dating apps, the reason why I like Tinder more than Cupid, no, I'm sorry. The reason why I like the Cupid sites versus the other dating sites that I've used is that I can filter women by women without children. Tinder, because it's about not wasting time. So Tinder, I could get a lot of matches, but I actually have to talk to them to find out if they have children. And then so I wasted my time with that one. And so it takes more steps to find out if they got children or not, especially on Tinder. So so there, so I could imagine guys, if you consult, and as you get more data, guys might be saying, I'm getting too many women with kids, so you have any ideas as far as how to maneuver that, or could that be something you think about?
Yeah, so that's good to think about. And I think most women would not even put it on their dating app profile, or they would like hide it, or not say anything about it. Because when I've done research on like men and women dating, some guys, they don't even know the woman has kids till like the 5th date or something. So it seems like
wow.
So it's like women inherently know that having children lowers their SMV, so they were like, it's just natural to hide it a little bit. And so I'm gonna guess most women wouldn't even put it on their dating app profile.
Not on Tinder, especially. No, I know not on Tinder they wouldn't. See, Garfield said they updated Bumble. You can use filters on there as well. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess. So I guess if I was to, do the beta version, I would say, okay, if you use this website, could you have your guys just search for women without kids?
Yeah, so we might do that. So Bumble has the filter. Yeah, and I don't know if Tinder has the filter.
No, Tinder doesn't have a filter. Cupid does.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, so we want to tailor the product to, or tailor the solution we have to what users want. And so, yeah, if a user wants something, then it's best that we, or if a user has a problem where, oh, I don't want to match with the women that have the kids, or I want to see my SMV for women that don't have kids, then yeah, we could do the global SMV with the has kids filter. We would want to deny them. So we set the filter up to deny those women. And yeah, so we'd set it up the best way for the user.
So which makes me think, so the cost, so if you have to create a Tinder profile or other profiles, so if you use Tinder Global, you got to pay that fee, right?
Yep.
So do you have to cover the fee unless you got some type of deal with these social media, these dating apps where you can I don't know, surpass that? Because I'm guessing what if you use a multiple dating apps, especially like Cupid, Tinder. I don't know if Bumble is free to use the passport, but what would it be additional cost, for that?
Yeah, so we do pay for Bumble Premium and Tinder Gold, and then we would just bake that into our price for our service.
Okay. So guys, expect to pay for each service because you do have to pay for Tinder, which I would pay for. Which when I was dating, I would spend probably $90 because I would want to optimize my the chicks I wanted to meet. So I would pay for Tinder $30. I'll pay for, let's say if it was Colombia, I'll pay for ColombiaCupid.com. I'll pay $30. And then I'll pay for Latin American Cupid.com because, they're on that site as well. So I typically would use 3 different sources, maybe 30 days out. I will go hard on those apps, and trust me, I will always have something lined up when I land it. Some guys don't go through all that, but you don't have to go through all that, with his service. So you would pay for maybe however many different apps you want them to use, plus whatever the base fee would be. But yeah, I can't imagine spending over $30, especially if I got to pay for these other websites. So,
yeah. Yeah, it's smart to run multiple because then you get leads in multiple avenues. And for the beta, we cover all the costs, so we're eating the cost for, the Bumble, Bumble Premium, Tinder Gold. So we're eating that cost just so we can get more users to sign up, get more feedback, get more video testimonials. So it's kind of like, we're paying a little bit of money, a little bit of time to get feedback and the video testimonials. So it's like a marketing cost, basically.
Okay, cool. So, like I said, guys, he has two free slots to try for 30 days. So he's eating the cost because he has to pay for your Tinder and Bumble account. And all you have to do, the first 2 that's interest, all you have to do is go to the website. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description. You just schedule an interview with him. You pick a date, time, and it will be whatever day or time, whatever is available, and it will be a Zoom call. And then y'all will go from there. So he said only two people, 2 lucky people. So so that's pretty much, you have it. There you have it. So yeah, anybody have any last minute questions, put them in the chat. So if you got any clothing remarks before I end the stream?
Yeah. Yeah, so I got something cool to say. So, Tinder Gold, $6.99 in Thailand. Yeah, that's okay. Good. That's cheaper than in the U.S. And so, yeah, the universe put me here. So, I want to say some awesome info. So, we think of all the 100 billion men that have lived on this earth, and then you think of all the infinite planets in the universe and how many creatures out there, blah blah, all throughout history. And so, in this moment right here, out of all the 100 billion men and humans that have lived and all the creatures throughout the universe, I'm the only one out of all of them that has all the answers to women. And so, with me being the only one that has all the answers to women, it's like the most important thing that men need to know about women is this sentence. And people will come back to this, hear this in like 100 years, 100,000 years, million years to come listen to this interview because this information is so important. But as a man, the most important thing you need to know for women is women are biologically programmed to leave men. I'm going to say that again. Women are biologically programmed to leave men. And I didn't get this from myself. I got it from a guy called Black Dragon. And I thought about it a little bit. You know, think about how the universe works and thinking of the evolutionary psychology in men and women's brains. And what I saw was, you know, just thinking about it, you know, what does evolution want for the human race? You know, the things we're programmed, our core instincts. What is evolution programmed into men and women for, you know, just our basic evolutionary psyche? And that number one thing is for the human race to survive. And we say, okay, evolution has set us up, and all our behaviors, our basic, you know, instinctual behaviors are for the human race to survive. And then I was thinking a second level of that, which is, you know, so out of two choices, which one would give the human race the best chance of survival? And the two choices are the human race has less diversity in DNA, or the human race has more diversity in DNA. And obviously, evolution would select for more diversity in DNA for better chance of the human race surviving, because that gives a better chance to, you know, survive diseases, you know, maybe get some mutation that helps us climb trees and acquire resources faster, you know, like an extra finger, blah, blah, blah. And so when we actually think about it, okay, evolution wants more genetic diversity. And then, but how can that happen if we've been programmed to have a monogamous society, or you know, like a one partner forever society? And I went to look at the data of divorce statistics, and I saw that if the woman is college educated and a divorce occurs, the probability the woman filed for divorce is 90%. But that's basically the woman behaving badly for 2 or 3 years, then filing. So there's also some percentage of men, you know, the other 5 to 9%, that the woman behaved bad and the man filed for the divorce. And so basically women are initiating 95 to 99% of divorces just by their behavior. And so this is showing me that just the thought process of, you know, just thinking about evolution in our brain of women are biologically programmed to leave men, it's showing in the actual divorce statistics. So it's like the theory that I went through, the thought exercise in my head matches the real life data exactly. And so the reason why I say this is the most important fact for men to know, and you get to learn from a god right now. So, because Black Dragon is the only other dude I've ever heard say this, and for some reason, no other dude knows about this. But just knowing that women are biologically programmed to leave men it is the best sentence for men because it aligns expectations with reality, which is your woman is going to leave you, or your woman is going to leave you, which is painful to hear. And it definitely goes against all the Eddie Bernays marketing we've been getting since we've been born, and, you know, all the Disney and all the fairy tales. But, you know, it allows men to lead a life filled with truth, or, you know, have that foundation, and then they can go make just better decisions. Because it's like, if a man knows that his woman is biologically programmed to leave him, then he can make smarter decisions of, you know, avoiding alimony by avoiding getting married in the US, or avoiding child support by avoiding having a child with a woman in a romantic sense, and maybe search out something where it's like in vitro, and, you know, eliminate all custody battle or litigation by having it in, you know, more of a business arrangement. And researching all the men I've researched, heard stories from, they're just like, yeah, the woman initiated the divorce, and it's just because it's terribly hard for men to leave, just evolutionarily, because if men leave a woman, then the woman 10,000 years ago wouldn't get any, you know, protection or provisioning, so she would die, because women don't go out and gather resources, men do. And so just the evolutionary pressure is the woman leaves the man first, and the man, like, really gets destroyed emotionally. And so that's how I've been setting everything up, or basically planning for the future, is, okay, women are biologically programmed to leave men, which means my woman is biologically programmed to leave me. Okay, that's fine. Now let me plan around this truth. And I think it's wild that I have only heard it from one dude, but it's correct. And it just gives me freedom. And I think that's why I wanted the universe put me here to say this now, is that it'll allow you to plan your life a lot better. It'll allow you to, you know, follow your dreams. It'll allow you to avoid the destruction, because
have more options. You know, I see where I understand where you're going. You know what I mean? And I always preach to be somewhere where you can replace a woman the fastest. And there's no way to replace a woman faster by being in a place where you have the most options. You know, and you made a good point about, because women talk about having children in vitro without dealing with a man. A man could technically do the same thing, find a surrogate to have his own children. So I mean that's something that I'm actually going to probably put in my notes to have that conversation. But I don't want to take up too much time, because I want people to be able to watch the stream again. Yeah, I want to say thank you for coming up. Let me know, email me if you get anybody to sign up, and I would like to follow up to see what type of data that you produced, and then also I can have people give testimonials on the channel as well. You know, that'll be great as well. So yeah, appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, fellas. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this stream. Please look at it again if you missed anything. And I'll check you guys out tomorrow when I have Austin Holloman. We're going to go in depth about dating in Brazil, or traveling to Brazil, vacationing in Brazil, and even living in Brazil. Peace out.
Yeah. Got the flight book, it's a library. I'm in the deal. Just took a flight to Bora Bora, and foreign cars like foreigners. Burberry on her. Up in France, bitch, bonjour. I been come to console. We going Paris tomorrow. Only Paris we carry, spin at the mall. We doing singing along. My diamonds be saying, add some more change. That's the same alone. Dripping all the way from home and taking the wrong. Got the flight book, it's a library. We ain't flying solo. Tune in to the show. It's the Passport Bros. No excuse entertainment. Jay Slay on the show. Turn it up some more. It's the Passport Bros.